Hey, podcast listeners, it is me. Before we get into our next episode of F Up and Fail Up, I wanted to give a small disclaimer. When Nikki and I sat down to do this episode, we were both going back and forth with whether or not we wanted to post it on the Teachers After Dark platform or the Ridgemont Forest Finest, the podcast platform. We were struggling back and forth with this because some of our Teachers After Dark language may have seeped into this episode because we are both so very passionate about the topic. But because it is such a topic that needs to be discussed, we figured that it could also be beneficial to those of you who tune into the Ridgemont Forest Finest, the podcast platform. So if you're listening to today's episode of F Up and Fail Up, please excuse us because we're so passionate. Some of our Teachers After Dark language kind of got in here. So if you are here for the cute, the quaint, the classy, the sanitized teacher content, this may not be the episode for you because we are relaxed and we are our normal selves on this episode. But if that is what you're into, if you're ready to get into the F Up and Fail Up episode, please sit back and enjoy and let us know your thoughts. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of, I don't know if we should do Teachers After Dark or Ridgemont Forest Finest. I feel like this should be double posted, cross posted, because I feel like it's an important conversation. So, welcome back to the show. We're going to say that. And today we are going to be talking about something that a lot of people have seen happen in real time, but nobody ever wants to talk about it and say it out loud. And so today we are talking about the privilege that some white women have to fuck up and fail up.
Exactly. You know what? When we talk about fuck up and fail up, I know, of course, this is our educational platform and everything, but it applies in so many areas.
It does.
Like, if you look at all institutions, whether it's government, education, the private sector, certain people, white women, always have the ability to fuck up and fail up. They get to make this whole big mess that they leave behind for somebody else. And I think we can get into later about who has to clean up the mess. Yeah, but they get to make this mess. They get to make all of these wild, crazy decisions. They get to leave the place in a disarray where everybody's confused like a chicken with their head cut off running around like, what the hell is going on? What are we doing? What are we doing? And then somehow you get called for a nice little meeting and it's an announcement that this person has been promoted.
They move up. New opportunity, a whole new title, a fresh start, like a clean slate. Yeah. Nobody even gets to know.
We ain't even gonna talk about.
We ain't gonna talk about where you fucked up that, and we just give you a whole new title, whole new position, whole new city, bitch. we just a whole new place. And just like the last situation, they make sure that it never happened. It just poof disappears.
And you know what? And the whole while, how many people is sitting in them meetings with this unqualified person as their leader, who they actually have credentials that'll run circles around that person. The person who is sitting, listening to this person be their leader, but yet they have to ask them for advice.
And then what are they left doing? Cleaning up the shit. Cleaning up the shit. Holding the mop. Like, that's our favorite thing to say. Holding the mop.
Holding the mop. Get the dust and broom pan out, And I'm even say you get the dust and broom pan because, baby, we're not even going to make it easier for it to be a vacuum.
You're going to get your ass down on the floor.
You're going to have to
put your back into it. You're going to have to put your back into it.
And, we keeping everything running while somebody else gets to ride off into the sunset in their nice Porsche.
With their hair blowing in the wind. I love it. And before we get all into it, let's just say this clearly. This conversation is not just about one person. I always have to give those disclaimers because people always think I'm picking on them. People always think I'm picking on them.
I hate how them pit dogs be hard.
All the time. And they watch and they listen so they can run back and report. But this conversation is not just about one person. It is it's about a pattern. And a pattern that so many people fail to open their eyes and see. And I know people hate when I say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Race, yes, race is a part of that pattern.
That word, y'all hate to say,
oh my God, everything is not about race. Everything is not about race.
We're all human. We all believe
we're the human race. Fuck y'all.
And okay, I got to add a little side note comment
Go
that
ahead.
the audience doesn't know about, but you'll get it. Because the DNA says that we're actually the same. We're the same. So my heart hurts that people behave this way because we are the same. You and me, we're together. We're more sisters than you could imagine.
Before we get into this, I gotta give people some context about where that conversation came from. Me and Nikki went to this big community rally the other night. And we are both very vocal in speaking, about local politics where we are in the greater Houston area. And we both spoke about racism, systemic and structural racism in the public school. And at the end of the rally, this you could tell, used to be a hippie, probably still is a hippie white woman walked up to us and talked about her love of science, or her father's love of science.
I'm going to clarify.
Oh, okay, clarify it.
She walked up to reach, not force.
Oh, okay. She did.
Because, she has the approachable face and everything. I have a mug on when I'm in that mug. But this one, she gives you all the feels and makes you feel loved and wanted. And so, Sister Girl just thought that they were just going to go out and just have fun and good time. Because my dad was a scientist and he said that he can't wait till the science proves what he's believed all along. And that's me and you are sisters.
The DNA proves it.
We are sisters.
I hate you.
Okay, we digress.
Okay, back to what we're talking about. So, going back to the whole fuck up and fail up conversation, let's talk about who gets grace and who gets consequences. Now, we have talked about this. We've hit this point a couple of times on the podcast, and I hate when it sounds like we're repeating episodes and we're repeating topics, but if we're repeating anything, it's because some other shit done popped off and the attention needs to be brought back to it. So, yes, everybody makes mistakes at work. We know ain't nobody perfect, okay? Nobody is perfect. But what people start noticing over time is that mistakes don't cost everybody the same thing.
Exactly. That's the problem, because some people get to make mistakes and it is, let's show grace. This person is still learning.
I hate that word.
They have so much potential and it's our job to support them so that they can meet those goals, because we see the vision in them. We know that it's there, and so they just need to be nurtured. Let's give them an opportunity to shine.
Another opportunity to fuck up. But somehow, when somebody else makes the same mistake, again, we talked about this before. When somebody else makes the same mistakes, they're difficult, they're not professional, they may not be the right fit for leadership. Where did the grace go? Where did the understanding? Where did the let's give them a second chance and a second opportunity? Where did that go?
It's crazy because it can be the exact same situation and you get two totally different responses from whether it's administration, leadership, the board, whatever. You get two totally different responses, and that's what the problem is. And that's what people don't realize when we always say, it is about race, because race is tied to accountability. So all we're asking for is be accountable. Hell, if I have to be held accountable to my fuck-ups, why is Bethany not?
But, okay, going back to the community rally that we were at the other day, that accountability word shook up some people.
He didn't like it.
Motherfuckers didn't like to hear the word accountability, because especially when you tied accountability to race, no, let's not talk about all the bad things. No, it must be a privilege to sit in, and I said, oh Lord, I know I'm finna get a call. It must be a privilege. How wonderful must it be to sit in comfort? To sit in comfort and avoid accountability, avoid the tough conversations, because if I say, hey, somebody called this child a dirtbag monkey, and we need to hold the people accountable that didn't put the consequences on those people. Well, let's stop talking about all the bad things. Can we do some really good things here? Bitch, I don't give a fuck what good you did. I just said these people called this child a dirtbag monkey, and y'all want to focus on the good things. But anyway, let me go back, because now I'm going to get pissed off thinking about the community rally. But again, let's pose that question. Who gets the grace and who gets the consequence? And we know who gets the grace and we know who gets the consequences.
Right. And then that's just because for some people, their mistakes are viewed as a part of their growth. Ooh. And for others, their mistakes are viewed as proof that you never belonged here in the first place. You should have never been in this room.
Oh,
shame on us for giving
shame
you.
on us for giving
shame
you
on
Negroes
for doing a DEI hire and putting you here.
Oh, that shit hit. But let's be honest. I don't like how some people are allowed to learn publicly. Like, they get to fuck up and learn from their mistakes publicly when other people are expected to already be perfect before they even hit the door, before they even are given the title, the position, the opportunity. Mm-hmm. I fucking hate that. But let's get into the emotional escape hatch. This is another thing that people notice that happens when accountability starts knocking on their door. We gonna keep hitting on that word accountability. Keep hitting on it because everybody hates it.
Right. And that's because, when you bring accountability, that's when the shit has to have a switch up. That's when all of a sudden we don't want to talk about the damage that was done. The conversation is going to be about protecting someone's feelings.
Oh my God, we saw so much of that.
Yeah, it has to be, she was going through something at the time, and so it really hurt your feelings when you all say that you feel like she doesn't show up, because she's showing up in so many areas of her life right now. She's struggling. Yeah.
Oh, where are my tears?
Dang it.
Where's my coffee cup that says tears, my white fragility tears? I'm drinking white fragility tears.
This is being posted to our regular podcast because I was going to say, we have a phrase that we like to use for this situation where it's, we need to always pat someone.
Puss!
Yeah.
Pat someone's cat. That's our, Teachers After Dark, we would say your coochie needs to be patted, all right? But talking about showing up, this is the conversation where their emotions show up, their tears show up, and now everybody in the room is focused on comforting the person who created the problem to begin with. It's patting their coochie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay for you to publicly mess up.
You're still learning. You're still learning. Nobody's perfect.
Nobody.
And meanwhile, if Keisha dare shows any form of emotion or frustration or anything, she's either going to be labeled one or two ways.
Okay.
Either you are weak and you're not fit to be in this position because it's too much for you, or you're aggressive.
Angry.
Why are you so angry?
It's so hard to work with.
I just don't feel like we have a good relationship. Speaking of that, I'm just thinking about, when I had a particular supervisor at the time, and I noticed that she constantly, was eyeing me in meetings. And finally, when we had a one-on-one, she said, "It's just so hard for me to read you, and I'm really trying." Why?
Why get my business?
My goddamn job. What are you trying to read? Why?
What is, girl? I cannot. So one person's emotions get to become protection or protected, and the other person's emotions get to become a discipline issue.
And the problem with that is after you see it, you ain't gonna never
I cannot unsee it. So when we say
unsee it.
There's so many good things happening here, no, bitches, because y'all don't get to see it. And we brought that up at the community rally the other night. It's that so many of people on the outside who are not in the inside, who don't get to see the shit, you don't have to see what we see. And once we see it, we cannot unsee it. And so everything from that point on becomes about that. There's so many, fuck them good things. I don't care about them good things. Ugh.
It's crazy that how quickly accountability disappears when somebody's feelings or their personal struggles enter the room.
Listen, because see, now this whole conversation is about to fucking trigger me because there is so much. There's so much. Anyway, let's so much power in protection itself. There's so much power in protection itself. This is another uncomfortable part of the conversation. Sometimes the people that are protecting these situations are other women. And that's when you get what it was that you just said, that line that you just said, right? When you have other women above them, and I'm going to go ahead and be specific and say even other white women that are above them, all of the grace, all of the understanding, all of the emotions, you get all of that extra shit. And they are the one that protect these other white women, these fragile little birds, these fragile little doves from the accountability, from the hard conversations. It's them. But those same very white women that are in charge of protecting the feelings and validating the feelings of black women who may experience similar things, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
Whole nother conversation.
Because when it comes to us, we don't get mentorship, we get competition.
Ooh.
We don't get collaboration, we get gatekeeping.
Oh, we love, let me not say we, because I ain't putting myself in there. They love blocking the advancement of black women. And it's going to be for one of those crazy ass made up reasons that they have. And once we know white women in power, when they're at the table or they're the head of the table and they get others around them that think like, it's like a Mean Girls club. I don't even know what the fuck to say. Like, you really see that mean girl workplace dynamic kick in, especially when it's in a boardroom. And those are where those people's opportunities get quietly redirected to other places, right? Their mistakes at that little table behind those closed doors, their mistakes get magnified, blown up into be bigger shit. And then we know that certain people get positioned as threats instead of colleagues. And I'm going to go off the rails a tad bit and talk about, these are those same meetings where we are trying to place black men in leadership roles, but all of a sudden their opportunities are quietly directed. They are the firefighters. They go put out the fires, go be disciplined, go be the bulldog, go do all these things. We're going to redirect you because I think you could better serve in this capacity while Sarah, Bethany, whatever, needs to serve in this capacity.
And we have to also look at, what does that do for our community when you're looking for advancement and all of those things? What does that do for us? Because it puts us in a position sometimes to where distancing yourself from other black colleagues helps you be more aligned with power.
Ooh, I call them the good Negroes.
Yes.
What is the word? We've done a podcast episode about this before. Is it called the magical Negro?
Yes.
Is that the concept of the magical Negro?
The magical Negro can, get up from the table with us and then go and shuck and jive over there with the others. And they're palatable. They don't ask hard questions. They are eager to receive what information that you give them. They never tell you you're wrong about anything. You get to hype them up because you make them feel like, oh, I'm doing such a good deed because I'm feeding so much into them, because they don't know. You have to be quiet about your own accomplishments. You have to be quiet about your own education, your own experiences, in order to let the others feel like they are better than you. And that's the only way that you are palatable to them as the magical Negro.
And another thing about the magical Negro concept that there's so many aspects of it, but one of my favorite things to talk about when it comes to the magical Negro is how they are so protective of the white person. You say one thing about that person, oh, no, Mr. Johnny not like that. Mr. Johnny he's a good master. They're not that bad. And I have had this conversation so many times with black administrators, black assistants, black associates, black whomever that are second, third in command to white leadership. And when I am expressing my complaints or disdain or concerns about white leadership, it's always, they're not that bad. It's okay. No, it's not really like that. Like, I'm at the table, so I really know. And I'm like, how is you cool?
Yeah.
How is you cool? I got a phone call the other day, and you were privy to be in the room when I got this phone call. And when the phone call hung up, before I could open my mouth, you said, that was the fakest ass shit I have ever heard in my life. And I said, I know what the conversation was. I knew the purpose behind it. The purpose was, let me be a good nigga to you. Let me, what's up, girl? Hey, girl. Hey, girl.
Oh, it was so performative.
And then, girl, what's tea? Girl, get off my phone. I already know what this is about, so you can go take that bone, run back and tell. But this is the uncomfortable part of the conversation. It's the uncomfortable part to talk about, but it happens. And it's how some people do not climb that ladder. They protect their spot by kicking others off of it.
And they don't even realize that like, baby, you are never going any further than where you are right now.
Never.
You are literally just a placeholder. You are there strategically. They have placed you there as a chess move, baby, to make sure that none of the other Negroes come through here. You are there just so that they can fill their quota and say, we're not racist because look downstairs. Look who works downstairs.
In the kitchen.
And I love her.
Because I'm going to put the palatable one in the position. I'm never going to put the Ridgemont Floor in the position. I'm going to put the palatable one in the position. But what my people, you magical Negroes, what you guys don't understand is they have now relegated you to the position of the clean up crew. Can we talk about it? The clean up crew. This is the part that really drains people. This is the part that really drains y'all, because somebody always ends up having to come in and fix that damage. When that person has driven off in their Porsche with their hair blowing in the wind, riding off into the sunset to their new position and their new title, their new city, their new whatever, you are left to deal with the shit.
And you know what's crazy about it is most of the time, who's left to deal with it are the people who are already doing it right the first time.
Ooh.
It's the black people.
Ooh.
It's the women of color. It's the most competent people in the room.
Wait, what's that line again? The most who?
The most competent people in the room. You're leaving them there to clean up the mess. And here's the crazy part about it. The person who now has to clean up the mess was a person who should have been hired in the first place. But now you want them to clean it up. But this is how they'll spin it. You're going to do the cleanup in interim.
Fuck me.
Interim. And so when the time comes to actually fill that position again, baby, it's still not going to be you.
It's not going to be you.
You just cleaned it up and made it look nice for the next person to come along and look like they did an incredible job. When you did all of the legwork with no official title, no official pay raise, none of that. You did it. You were the person who should have been hired first. They passively gave it to you in interim and then still turned around and didn't give it to you in the end.
Why the fuck did that sting me like it was me that got hit with the interim title? That shit stung. But those are the people that have always been the ones that were staying late. They're going to be left to redo the projects. They're going to be left to repair the relationships. They're going to be left to fix the problems that they did not create. They're going to be left to repair that broken ass, raggedy ass staff morale, community morale, student morale. They gonna be left to fix it. And when they don't fix it quickly, fix it properly, it's all your fault. This was all you from the jump.
And magically, we've forgotten about Bethany when she was there first. All of a sudden, nobody remembers that Bethany messed this up.
No.
Because Bethany is riding off in the sunset with her new position where she's the assistant something to the department of blah, 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 blah. The director of blah, 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 blah. Nobody remembers that Bethany messed it up. All they remember now is, well, Keisha was supposed to.
Girl. And Bethany drives off and gets a position like the director of DEI. When we forgot that Bethany hated niggas. Bethany hated niggas when she was here in that position. Bethany had 1 million grievances filed against her because of her hatred and her lack of cultural competency and cultural awareness in her own student and teacher demographic. But now we're saying she's good enough to be the fucking director of D.
And that goes back to our point of you get to fuck up and fail up. Fuck up and fail up. The qualified people in the room are never going to be the ones chosen. And it's so unfortunate. And it's so unfortunate that, I'm just even going back to the part about us. Where we in certain positions and we don't even realize, we're not cognizant of how we are part of the problem too. With the gatekeeping and the, I just want to be a good boy for Massa.
A good Massa. Don't make Massa mad. Ridgemont, why you gotta be making them videos and be making Massa mad?
he's gonna come down on you.
All of us gonna get a good old lashing because of you. I can't stand that. But when that person drives off into the sunset, they even will still continue to get praised for their leadership experience. Like, they get their new role, and when you go look at their new bio, it talks about how great they were in their previous role and how much leadership experience they had, but never do they go into detail and say that the leadership experience they had caused so many fucking fires. Mm-hmm. All we get to say is leadership experience. Yeah, you got leadership. You led this motherfucking Titanic to the fucking depths of hell. But we're not going to say that.
You know, so, I mean, when I think about why this keeps happening, though. Why does it keep happening? The only thing that I can think of is familiarity. Ooh. And y'all, excuse me, you know, me and this mouth is having a problem with some words lately.
This baby got braces.
Like, I feel like I got a lisp and everything.
This baby got braces.
So that's what I think it is. You know, people feel comfortable promoting people who look like them. Oh, that's just the bottom line. And they move through this world the same way that they do. Yeah. They don't want to step out of their comfort zone and recognize, like, oh wow, like, I didn't know that you or y'all, I didn't know your cousins were experiencing this type of stuff. Really? Are you serious? Jacarius got expelled and the police called on him. Meanwhile, Trevor just got to go sit in the counselor's office for 30 minutes and he cried, and, you know, we called his dad, and then
fruit snacks and a Capri Sun. Don't forget that. Don't forget that.
And after that, we sent him back to class and he was fine because he's a good kid. But Jaquarius and Trevor did the same thing. But now Jaquarius has a record.
Oof. You said they promote people who look like them. Can we hit on how they promote people not only who look like them but who think like them too?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Come on.
Yeah, and it takes me back to this community meeting when we talked about, you know, well, we just need people who understand the culture. What culture are you talking about?
I'm triggered. That meeting pissed me off so bad.
What culture are you referring to?
You know the culture we referring to, the white culture.
Because, you know, I've been here. My family's legacy goes back here 150 years. Oh, when niggas wasn't invited. Okay. That's what you want to protect. Oh, okay.
And a part of that protection, too, when we talk about these women in these communities, these people that look and think alike, is that it's reputation protection, too. These organizations would rather quietly just move somebody elsewhere than to admit that they made a mistake. And we are seeing that so much. How many times have we seen people get to quietly resign, quietly retire, versus get them charges pressed against you for stealing money, get called all the way out because Principal A was sleeping with Principal B husband. When we had these swinger parties and all of this shit going on, like, we get to quietly just move you to the side, promote you, then say, you know what? Bethany fucked up, y'all. And we can't have that fuck up no more.
We can't do that again. And so now we're moving differently. We're going to make some changes to ensure that we don't have leadership that operates in this manner. No, we're never going to talk about that. We're never going to address that.
Our people don't mess up. Y'all mess up.
Y'all mess up.
Our people don't. And to show you that our people don't mess up, we're going to keep promoting them to show you that they are great leaders and they are deserving of all the promotion.
My feelings are hurt. My feelings are hurt thinking about this because it just goes back to people are shielded from the consequences of their actions.
Some people.
Shielded.
And this is what people don't like to admit. And when somebody is continuously, and we have to put that word continuously in there because we see that, like we said, it's a pattern. When somebody is continuously shielded from consequence, those mistakes stop being lessons. Instead of now them being lessons, they're career stepping stones. They're those little steps on that ladder that we talked about earlier that somebody else is holding. And the sad part is that failure doesn't hurt everybody's career. And it builds it for some people. For some people.
If you
look like me, it's gonna hurt your career.
For others, failure is the end of you. It is a permanent stain on you forever.
Do you remember I'm gonna take you back to a couple of schools. We done followed each other everywhere in our education career, but there was a couple of schools ago that we worked at, and we had the most amazing black woman assistant principal. Most amazing. She got caught up in some shit. They couldn't really get her for that shit, but then a small little error she did, and they said, "Bingo, gotcha, nigga," and we could get you out of there. And that's so sad, because anybody else, like we've seen, would have been that mistake would have been used as a career stepping stone to push you to the district office, to push you into a compliance position, to push you into the transportation department, to push you into the design and decor of a new school department, push you into communications. You get to run the social media, right? We've seen so many ineffective white administrators who should have been retired, long ago. Okay, they get positions like communications director, assistant to the
83. What the hell do you
what
know
are you
about
doing?
Working communication?
What are you doing? What are you doing? But anyway, that's the quiet part that nobody wants to say out loud. But at some point, we got to stop pretending that these patterns are just random. They're not random.
You know, because when certain people can fail repeatedly and still move forward, somebody else is always carrying the weight of that failure. What happens when the people who are used to carrying that weight all the time, what happens when they tap out?
Ooh.
I'm done.
Ooh.
What happens? What is going to happen? And you know, I know this is our educational platform, but you know, I can't help myself. I always have to.
You guys got to go there.
Okay.
You finna go there. Go ahead.
Okay. So when I say this happens so much, and it happens in all arenas, I can't help but think about our girl Jasmine Crockett. I can't help but thinking about this in my term of endearment at this point is, this bitch was the most qualified applicant ever. Ever. But our raggedy ass state could not accept the fact that this black woman had all of these accolades, is so intelligent, has done the work, that you rather bring in somebody who, and hey, no shade, because we're all there as educator, you was just a public school teacher for a few years. And your parents took a little bit of, money from the Republican Party, and that's how you was able to run your little platform and everything. And you are now the most qualified.
You are the most qualified.
You, without the Ivy League education, you who's not the practicing attorney, you.
Oh my God.
And so this, again, when I say what happens when we tap out, what's happening with America now,
right
where
now.
we sitting our asses
We're
down
sitting down.
Let the shit burning.
We're resting. The 92% is resting. And this is why. Because you continue, all of the people that, see, now we're going off to another tangent, but all of the people who swore to be our allies and swore that we fucked up Kamala, but we're going to get it right this time.
All they have to do is just dangle a little fair complexion in front of you, and you forgot about all of that.
That's it.
And here we are.
That's it.
So, yeah.
That's it.
We're going to rest, and we're going to let this shit go to hell. And call us when y'all ready to talk.
When y'all ready to talk business.
Call me when you ready to holler at me for real, player. I ain't got
it. I ain't got it.
Now I gotta treat you like a dude that's in my inbox saying, typing WYD all the time. Yeah, my phone is on D&D, baby. It's on D&D.
And if we're being honest, this pattern of who gets protected and who gets exhausted is not accidental at all. It's by design. It's always by design.
And please, can we just please stop pretending this is not about race?
It's always about race.
Stop pretending that this is this person just had a better personality fit. This person just understands the culture. And, this person is just familiar with the area. They know the clientele.
And kill she's too ghetto. Kill she's too ghetto narrative. Because what the fuck? But you know what? Oh, I'm triggered. But this brings me to another conversation that we're gonna pin this one because I want to go back. We talked about my girl Michelle Williams so much, and I'm still waiting. Michelle, she's taken quite a bit of a respite since her last the verdict of her last hearing came out. But she and I talk often, and when we talk about race and we talk about qualified and qualifications and all that, this brings me to another conversation. So I do want to spin this off to have a mini conversation about Michelle Williams and the Hispanic vote. Because we always like to say race isn't a part of the conversation when race is the fucking conversation. So anyway, we're going to pin this here and we're going to catch y'all next time on an episode of Richmond Forest's Finest, the podcast mixed with Teachers After Dark. We really did sprinkle a little bit of the little. Y'all
got the real.
Y'all got the real. So we'll see y'all next time on whatever show we post. Bye. All right.